was move something which should have been on consent to commission items which has no public comment. I think that person would have been safe. There was no issue there. There's obviously plenty of precedent for that, but one will have to wonder in terms of transparency and accountability why it was moved to commission items. Mayor, I appreciate you acting as though you don't know when that happened, but we have always put these things where people could comment on them, and I think it is questionable as to why you would have done that. So I just want to make that clear to the public, such as anyone is paying attention. And again, thank you for your time.
Well, thank you.
All right, so more lies came out in the paper today. I don't know if you guys saw that. It's kind of strange how narratives get formed and carried. But yeah, they ran this thing about a ban from the USD. And they even admit in their article that they never even contacted anybody. Lawrence Mann, who's been accused. That's it, accused. According to a purported letter from Lawrence Superintendent Janice Swift on May 1st, addressed to the man, Michael Irby, telling him that henceforth he can attend school board meetings only virtually. The letter, whose authorship the district has neither confirmed or denied despite repeated requests. Now that's interesting because that leaves only one person that the Lawrence Journal World could have gotten that information from. It's me. I sent them both the letter and the video of what actually occurred and told them to be cautious what they wrote. They went on to describe, aside from decorum breaches, public officials have said that the disruptions, sometimes accompanied by people being hectored, filmed, following to their cars, have had a chilling effect on government, on civic engagement. It's funny how that could have chilled somebody's civic engagement when those were all politicians, elected people. And then it went on to say that I was exhibiting threatening and harassing behavior, including telling two commissioners that he knew where they lived. And, you know, that's kind of interesting because any good reporter would know that the Douglas County website shows all your addresses. Bob Byers lives on 21st Street. Here we go, some city commission candidates. Bart Littlejohn, you live on Indiana Street. Matter of fact, I got yours right here. Tells me your exact address. I'm going to do you the courtesy of not saying it out loud in the live stream. You're welcome. They should do better. But they go on to describe me as using gendered slurs. Not something I do. And then they say all my lawsuits have been dismissed. Problem is there's an appeal on file against y'all.
Time.
Thanks, Michael.
All right, my name is Dr. Justin Spees. You guys have just once again shown that this is in fact not a limited public forum. This is a designated public forum. I filed a lawsuit against you guys for shutting me down while speaking in here on the USD 497 school district mask mandate, where I merely mentioned that I had started a protest at the against USD 497 for the second time they put in a mask mandate during COVID, and I got stopped and removed from this meeting. But just right now, you let Michael there talk about USD 497. You also let him talk about LJ World and their reporters. if this was a limited public forum, according to your guys' germane standard, that would have to be germane to your guys' business. You guys told me that me talking about the school district was not germane to your business. I filed that lawsuit. It got dismissed, but it's on appeal right now. And one of the things that we're appealing is the forum that this is. That shows right there again that this is not a limited public forum. Your guys' language in the way that you write up the rules for this says that public comment on a specific item shall be germane to the item being discussed. And this is for public comment on a specific item. And that's an important distinction to make from your guys' wording on general public comment. You say it should be germane. There is a distinction between should and shall. So the shall is a requirement that during individual items, it has to be related to that. Should is a suggestion. If you wanted to limit what we would say, you'd have to say that it shall be. It's a command that it has to be limited to. But you just showed right there that Michael was allowed to talk about that. And even if it was limited, you're showing your discrimination by not allowing me to talk about the USD 497 school district. Now, the judge ruled that I had discussed it, but that's not what happened. Like I said, all I did is I said, my name is Dr. Justin Spees. My PhD is from Kansas State, and I started a mass protest against USD 497 for the second time against their child mask mandate. And that was enough. Remember that, Lisa Larson? You said, what does that have to do with your guys' business? That's a great question. What does anything that Michael just have to do with your guys' business at all? Matter of fact, you guys do proclamations in here all the time and recognitions that show for a fact that this is not a limited public forum. You allow anything in here whatsoever. You have National Limb Loss and Limb Difference Awareness Month, where you want to encourage citizens to recognize the significance of this month by celebrating those with limb loss and limb difference. What does that got to do with your guys' business? Here's a proclamation for Mathematics and Statistics Awareness Month, and to be observed in schools in the city of Lawrence in recognition of the importance of mathematics and mathematics education. So you guys allow in your proclamations to bring in the school district to talk about, but the second that I even mentioned the word USD 497 school district, you stop me from speaking, Lisa, and direct the police to have me removed. So that's on appeal, and we'll see how that one goes. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Dr. Spees.
Hi, I'm Chris Flowers. I just have something that I'd like to talk about. Was last April 420, y'all had saturation patrols out. And I was talking at work, and it just seems kind of funny that late at night when there's not much traffic, we can send people out, like we can send cops out basically to pull people over that are going too slow. But during rush hour, when there's some old lady driving like 20 miles under the limit, that's okay. I mean, if there's a whole line of traffic behind her, that's okay. But at night with no traffic around, it's okay to start pulling people over if they're showing signs of intoxication. And driving under the speed limit is one. I mean, I don't know all the details about what goes on with one of our cops' saturation patrols, but cops in general will pull people over for driving too slow. And not here, but my dad once got pulled over for driving 5 miles under the speed limit, and that was after 10. But this is in a different city where it was known that cops like to pull people over late at night to see if they've been drinking. But anyway, my point is, what we do at night on college kids to see, like, when we say, oh, it's dangerous, they might be how they're driving is an indication that they might be drinking or drugging. Well, I say let's start putting the same level, or I don't know, the same treatment to people during rush hour. So I just want to throw that out there. And also, I think there's going to be a fight coming up about public comment. And I just want to throw this out there that when it comes to curse words, I looked it up, and I think there has been studies shown that curse words aren't bad for children unless they're being cursed at themselves. So I just want to, so if there's if there's ever talk about banning curse words here, I want to say, well, look at the data. Like, what does the data say about cursing and when it comes to public, like out in public? So just want to throw that out there. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Patrick Ross, 66049. This one's called Check Out My Open Public Comment Document on the city's civic web portal for this meeting. A seed can take years before it gambles at life. Only then does it face 11.5 inches of snow, 200-acre wildfires north of Clinton Lake, and guys whose first name is Phil. Errant herbicides kill off remnant prairie. Our little seed germinates at Rock Chalk Park. It likes to see members of the community enjoy open play use free of charge. After a 10-year tax abatement waived $17 million for the project to be built. On March 5th, 2013, then City Manager Doug Corliss stated at a City Commission meeting, "We don't have any plans to charge for admission. That's not in our business plan for the facility." 2025, Parks and Rec is tasked by city commissioners to cut or raise $1.8 million in the wake of a $6.6 million city budget shortfall. The city will now charge for Parks and Rec use, even Rock Chalk Park, despite past promises. As Park Director Luis Ruiz states, the promise is not law. 3 local artists, Max, Shadow, and Taz, are asking for tin or aluminum donations to build the 10-year anniversary sculpture since the park's construction. The artists aim to commemorate the no-bid contracts given to a future felon whose infrastructure proposal was $3 million over city estimates, who leases the stadiums to the University of Kansas for $2.2 million a year, extendable for 50 years, and pays $0 in property taxes. The sculpture is titled Bliss Sports LC and highlights the precarious nature of catering to developers and the need to sniff out corruption. What if we got an assist for $2 million? Bob Shum was mayor back then. At least he responded to public comment. When was that etiquette abandoned? Beyond the pomerium lies green land. The Army Corps fortifies its position on the north banks of the Wakarusa. Just before roll call at 054537 hours on the Lawrence City Commission YouTube for November 12, 2024, Jeff Crick declares capture orders for floodplains regulations to carry over from the previous land development code. The very regulations he illegally changed after the developers of the New Boston Crossing project directly admit that they cannot proceed based on then current Lawrence no-rise interpretations. We would like, Crick states, when giving his orders after 2 years of discussions, public comment, steering committee, and planning commission amendments were all completed. What we is he referring to? When all the bodies he represents had already made their suggestions. Developers, the code is passed. Administrative decision. If those 11.5 inches melt, Crick doesn't think it counts as rise. Let's ask FEMA. God forbid John Hassey's coffin should be washed away by floodwater. Our little seed is a plant now. It's afraid of being cut because of the city's monoculture grass policy. Biodiversity is important to ecosystems. Native prairie can self-regulate and is drought tolerant. What if all city land was left native? How much would it save if we didn't water, cut, or maintain city grass? I ask the same of residential. It's probably more efficient to do nothing. Yes. Have you ever picked up a leaf? Yeah, but have you ever picked up a leaf? The pig is sad now. It can only whisper of Contra-Guard art and rivers of blood. The pig likes it. Thank you very much. Thanks, Patrick. I don't think there's anyone else here. How about online?
We do have one. We have a few. Kevin Elliott. Kevin, we're not able to hear you.
Here I am. Sorry about that.
Thank you.
Okay. I have 2 very disjointed comments. The first one is when we in North Lawrence were forced to pickleball court, we were promised that we wouldn't lose a tennis court, and we're still waiting for our tennis court back. So we're going to keep reminding you until we get our tennis court back. We're happy to host the pickleball court, but we were promised that we would still have a tennis court. And it's been a great loss to our community, and it's been a great loss to the tennis community of Lawrence. So if we could have that back, we'd appreciate it. Secondly, I know you're going to do what you're going to do, but you need to do it better. I understand there's a lot of controversy when serving the unhoused about people who relocate to Lawrence. Now, I learned my radical leftist policies about serving the unhoused from the New Testament and the Bible. You don't ask where someone's from, you ask them if they need food. But your new policy on serving the unhoused and checking their papers to make sure they're from Lawrence has backfired, because there are people who are from Lawrence that haven't been able to prove their residency and are losing services. So your policy is not effective. It is causing people who are from Lawrence to lose services. So you need to re-examine your policy and do it better. And if you don't, then I'm going to make sure there's a lot of public attention on how you're failing. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin.
Herbie Evers.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi. So Kevin's right. Basically, when it comes to unhoused people, you have the complication where you don't have ID. Some of this isn't even maliciously done or just done on the incompetence of people out there on the streets. Sometimes you're just sleeping, you wake up, your backpack's gone, the backpack that you need, and suddenly whatever way you could have verified for these programs are gone. And it takes a long time, especially if you don't have a car, to get that stuff back. These barriers are going to turn away Lawrencians. And it's why we need to add some kind of nuance into this system. Something that is able to give some wiggle room by which people can go about proving their residency. And it has to be one that's on a bit of a shoestring. Otherwise, we end up turning away Lawrencians. On the other end, we might help people that aren't Lawrencians. And to that, I say good. We should be helping people either way. Anyone who gets out of homelessness in Lawrence is going to become tax-paying residences. They're going to be people that are going to our bars, going to our businesses. It's going to help the community. And I guess that was my thoughts on that. Knowing what it's like out there for people, this is going to create an unnecessary barrier. We should reconsider it. We should improve on it. On a separate note, we should return public comment to a sooner time. Dear Lord, this is not accessible to the average citizen. It's just if you're a single mother or something, someone trying to contribute to the community, be involved on a casual basis, this doesn't allow them to do that. It's one thing if we make public officials be involved in this a little longer. It's another for the public to entirely be tied. So I guess that's the end of my thought. Encouraging all of you to do better, keep up all the good work, stop doing all the bad work.
Thanks, Kirby.
That's all the public comment.
Okay, is there a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Second. Okay, motion to adjourn by Finkelstein, second by Little John. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Good night.
Everyone.